diddling and not doing what's necessary to create more jobs, to fix our schools, to keep foreign imports from taking away American jobs, to secure the border. There are a whole host of things people are concerned about, and they've heard politicians make promises on these topics for years and years and years, and no progress is being made. And along come a couple of guys who say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna, if you will, kick over the table," as Newt Gingrich said. I'm going to go to Washington and blow things up. And I think that has captured a lot of people's imagination. And as a result, you're seeing extraordinary crowds and support, both for Bernie Sanders and for Donald Trump.
You know, there's always this talk about ground games and getting your people out. I remember in the case of Nevada governor 4 years ago, after you had lost to Newt Gingrich in South Carolina, that was very instrumental, that win in Nevada, with the ground game that you got going and turned things around. The other guys couldn't get that ground game together against Donald Trump. So I guess what I'm asking you is, at this point, is it his nomination to lose?
Well, I think there's no question but that Donald Trump has the clearest path to become the Republican nominee. I think for the other people still in the race, their path is becoming a slimmer and slimmer opening. And they're having a difficult time communicating to their supporters just how they can become the nominee. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult for any one of the non-Donald Trump contenders to be able to be a real threat, unless perhaps the field narrows. The field narrowing would, I think, create an opening, but that doesn't seem to be happening, other than Jeb Bush, who I think really put country first by saying, look, I'm going to step aside and let my supporters go to someone else who they feel is representative of the kind of views that the country needs.
Now, you have not come out in support of anyone so far. What are you waiting for?
Well, frankly, I'd like to see a number of things from the candidates, not just their positions on issues in some detail, and some candidates are more thorough in laying out what they're going to do than others. But I'd also like to see their back taxes. I'd like to see, where they filed their taxes in the last several years. I'm not talking about their taxes this year. I'm talking about the taxes that have already been filed with the IRS. And Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz have none shown us their back taxes. And this was an issue in my campaign, so I'm.
Well, how far back are you talking about?
Well, just a couple of years. It'd be the last 2 years that have already been filed. And this will give us a real sense of whether these people are on the up and up, and whether they've been telling us things about themselves that are true or not. So I think, frankly, I think we have good reason to believe that there's a bombshell in Donald Trump's taxes.
What do you mean?
Well, I think there's something there. Either he's not anywhere near as wealthy as he says he is, or he hasn't been paying the kind of taxes we would expect him to pay, or perhaps he hasn't been giving money to the vets or to the disabled, like he's been telling us he's been doing. And I think that's the reason that I think that there's a bombshell in there, is because every time he's asked about his taxes, he dodges and delays and says, well, we're working on it. Hey, we're not talking about the taxes that are coming due this year. Of course they're working on those. They won't be ready for months. We're talking about taxes already filed.